Peace and blessings, family. This is your boy Gerald, and it is the weekend, June 3rd, 2017. How is everybody doing? That's right, y'all. You are in the midst of your weekend. I hope that you are well. Some of y'all got an early jump on it. I know I could feel that energy. Some of y'all started that on Thursday. Who am I talking to? But hey, as long as you're safe, that's all that matters, right? So, get back to why I'm putting this up because I got this feeling that somebody somewhere is waking up with a realization or a revelation because you're looking down your past. You are taking that emotional Minnie Rippleton back down memory lane because you saw or may have felt something that had sparked a trigger inside your emotions, and you are trying to process what, why, and how it is being revealed now. Why now all of a sudden you are in the focal point? Well, I tried to convey to each and every one of you as you are living your life to the best of your ability. It's all about the word. Yes, you know the word. That's why you always hear people, your elders would always say, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Because it's true. Words have power. And those words are nothing but vibration. Because the body gives off, shall I say, the spirit gives off two vibrations or frequencies. One is love and one is, but that's nor here nor there because right now, I understand you're trying to save face. You're trying to figure out why things are the way they are. Just know everything is divinely done in your best interest, even if the obstacle is yourself, even if the blockage is forged by fear. You know, fear, finally, everything's a reality. And the reality is you got to answer to some of those things that you couldn't figure out now, huh? But one of the things that we as human beings tend to find challenging is the fact that relationships, relationships that have ended and the cycles have not stopped. Let me tell you something. If it was meant for that stage of your life to be your reality, guess what? You would be there now. So if you want to throw a little optimism in there, you could look at it from this point of view. God must have something very special for me. But to understand and obtain what that blessing is about, you've got to grow. And you can't grow if you're looking behind you. Who am I talking to? I'm a firm believer, family, that the people coming into your life are a direct correlation or reflection of your state of mind. That is why those two divine gifts that was given the moment that you took your first breath, you know, that spiritual seal that is supposed to protect your legacy. How about identify your purpose, which also forges your direction? It's very important that you protect it. Sure, if anybody was able to say, well, you know what? Your life is going to be tough. Most people would bow out on the first inkling. But guess what? If your life was not unique, you know, you've heard me say this time and time again, not two diamonds are the same, no matter how strong the luster is. And you should look at your life in that same manner. But I understand that's more easier said than done, because the fact of the matter is you may have forged connections that you may have thought would last the rest of your days. It was all good yesterday, Gerald, but where they are now. And the reality that maybe, just maybe, there was a ploy to distract you from you. Hey, number one, get out of sight, get out your head. Get out of your head. Stop beating yourself up. Because you know we are our own worst critics, right? Come on now, ain't nobody looking. I'm talking to you. Nobody can criticize you more than you. Just like no one can hold you back best than you. So who's loving you? Because if you turn around and base your focal point on what love is interpreted by other people that are in your circle, you're not going to be able to possess it. Because love is found within yourself. The first example of love is your existence, because you're alive. God loved you so much, he gave you the authority to take on a physical form, even though you're a spiritual body first. Who am I talking to? So let me reach somebody at the lowest level, because this message is to reach the intended heart and intended mind and the intended time. Do you actually think that the things that you dream about are going to come without wisdom connected to it? Have you ever thought about the reasons why you do certain things, and those choices have connections to people? Those people only serve for two things. There's a reason that they're there. There's a timeline. So there's a season why they appear. And then there are those that will hold the honor to know your story. That's what being yoked is all about. Who am I talking to? That's why you can't make someone love you, but you can share love together. But that love comes from within yourself. So you're going to have to be a little strong. You're going to have to be able to ask the questions that only you can answer, and be willing to sacrifice so that that abundance called peace of mind. How about joy? How many of y'all right now, you've already gone through that stage? You know that money don't buy love, but it darn sure buys distraction. But unfortunately, we have to go through that emotional gauntlet, because see, pride, fear, which only forges insecurity, and disillusion, which only results in what? Denial. And guess what? You know, that devil knows that too, because the devil is always going to give you what you want. But see, what we always overlook as human beings, everything that you're seeing is a manifestation of what you thought of. I'll break it down a little more. So you always hear people say, well, you know, well, Darius cheated on me and I didn't understand. I didn't see it coming. That's because Darius thought about that decision far more before he acted upon it. So with that being acknowledged, we can automatically throw this out the window as a conclusion. It just happened. Family, nothing just happens. That is nothing but an excuse for those who choose not to take accountability for their choice. You've heard people say, well, you know what? Cheating is basically weighing out the risk. What do I have? Is it more than what I wish to possess? But guess what? You never see the small print. You'd never see the hazards. You don't see the disappointment, and you darn sure won't see those tears. You never see these things up front. You know why? Because, see, the devil has to distract you so that you will compromise you. So guess what? All the bells and whistles will be there that will tantalize and stimulate your senses, but it's never for your intellect. How about your self-worth? Who am I talking to? Somebody's woke up this morning and you feel like you're the only person on this planet because you have convinced yourself that love don't live here. You actually believe, because of repetitive cycles by the people that you associate, you actually think that that's going to be the fate that has played out and plagued them. Let me tell you something. If there's no love there, there's no support. And if there's no support, guess what? There's no emotional safety. So if those three things are not there, you also know God's not there. And if God's not there, guess what? That's not where you're supposed to have been all along. So when are you going to remove them shackles from your heart? When you're going to finally give yourself permission to let that person, how about that little boy, little girl that lives in you still? When are you going to finally give that person what they rightfully have longed for all along? You already know what you need. But why won't you give yourself concession so that you can put yourself in a position to receive? I'll do one better. When you look back at every blessing that has come through your life, and there have been countless that you don't even realize were blessings, but they just so happen to fall in your trajectory. No, that was a blessing. Yes, it was. And you might not realize it now because you're allowing your logic to rationalize the effect. No, that's God all day. How about that stranger who happened to say a couple words that moved you so much, you felt it in your soul? Why do you think them songs that you listen to have such effect? Well, I'll tell you why those songs have such effects. For one, it's the vibration that it generates. Yeah, the frequency. Why do you think people like certain beats? Because it's the vibration that they're living through. That's why you will never hear people take accountability of this situation. But it's played out. It always plays out all the time. And they quickly sweep it under the rug. You always hear somebody doing something very heinous. Well, Johnny decided to get up one day and kill all his family members. But they didn't see the signs why Johnny ended up doing that. But one thing for certain, Johnny liked this certain type of music that had a certain mantra connected to it. What you think that mantra was? That was nothing but frequency, repetitively ingrained inside your psyche. Come on. It's hidden in front of your face. The question is, will you have the courage to acknowledge what is being shown? So let's turn the page. Because some of you are dealing with this. You know damn well you deserve to be loved, respected. You deserve to have that smile back on you. Why are you having dreams of what your smile looked like? Who am I talking to? It doesn't matter if you're the best lover in the world. That's just part of it. You do understand the physical act of intimacy is like the sprinkle to any relationship. You do understand that. That's like the sprinkle on an ice cream of your choice. Your greatest Your greatest connection is found through your mind. That's why you will hear somebody say this: make love to my mind before you touch my body. But you have to give yourself permission to fall back in love with you. How can someone love you and respect you, honor you, uplift you, if you don't give yourself permission to do it first? You are the walking template of that. You do understand that, right? That's why there's so much problems now, because people do not know how to communicate their true thoughts because they're afraid to express them. They're afraid to show vulnerability. They're afraid to admit they need support. Why? Because pride only breeds distraction, family. And as long as you allow pride to be present, ego is right behind it. And right behind that pride is alienation. And next to that alienation is impulse. Only resulting in this: exploitation. And then when the reality hits what has transpired, denial shows its presence. It's not. Your greatest task you'll ever come to know is to learn about you. You can't teach that in college. Mm-mm. That is something that must be forged through your connection with spirituality. Because you can't turn around and say, well, I wish I had a best friend and they could look out for my best interests. Well, your best friend looks at you every morning when you wake up. If you don't feel comfortable in front of a reflection and tell that reflection back how much you love them, how about how much you owe them? Your living reflection, known as your reality, will respond the same. Maybe that's why in the romance department, treadmill or a turnstile, sure they'll come. They'll come, but what do they bear? Do they bear truth or do they bear illusion? I'll give you a second to think about that. Because you can't turn around and keep a mindset of, you know, I didn't have nothing to do with it. They're the ones that did that, and I'm a victim. No, you're not. You know why you're not a victim? Because you woke up today. So that tell you right there, you ain't a victim. And from a deeper aspect, first of all, let me throw this disclaimer out because y'all may hear a little gurgling because what I'm doing is actually I'm sipping on my coffee in these soup coolers. They're getting in the way, but that's okay. I'm sending love for each and every one of you because I know some of y'all are dealing with and you know it. You dealing with depression. You think depression is your friend because it's been in your life so long that that's the only thing that has shown loyalty because it breeds pain. You may actually think that the perception that has been generated through your development is the correct way to live your life because that's how you saw, and that was the only thing that was projected in your family tree. Well, my mom didn't need no man. And because my mom didn't need no man, she did all right. But you're overlooking all that struggle. You're looking at all those moments. You're forgetting all those moments that you needed someone, a male presence, to give you unbiased advice. How about support? How about just the little things of letting you know how beautiful you really are? Because you are. Let me tell you that. Do you hear my voice? You're beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You are the exception to the rule. You're not supposed to wake up aspiring to be like them. You're not supposed to. Hold that thought.
Bob from Protect, come by for the termite check today. Come on, sitting downstairs there between the garage. Okay. 3-4 minutes. How y'all doing? Pretty pumpy. Got somebody to play with, got put in jail, didn't you? That's a bummer.
Hush.
We'll pick this up at a later date, y'all. Be blessed.